Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Barton.
And I'm Jennifer Ziegler, and we are here with our esteemed guest, Adriana Cuevas, author of What Fell from the Sky. Welcome, Adriana.
Hi, hi, hi. Good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. To start us off, would you please read aloud the dedication you wrote for What Fell from the Sky?
Sure. The dedication is to the Hendersons and Isbels for loving and accepting this Cuban girl.
All right. So, who are the Hendersons and the Isbels, and what can you tell us about your history with them?
Those are my in-laws. Those are my husband's parents. The Hendersons are my father-in-law's family, and the Isbels are my mother-in-law's family. And it was a perfect fit to dedicate this book to them for, I think, reasons that will become apparent as we talk about the book.
So there's a lot in What Fell from the Sky that deals with being a newcomer to a new place and also accepting a newcomer into a place. Could you talk a little bit about that, and how maybe that ties into the dedication?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I definitely am the I don't even, it's kind of hard way to put it. Like I stick out in my husband's family, I guess is the best way to put it. My husband is from Southwest Oklahoma, and when he brought home a Cuban girl from college, so the first time I went out to visit his family, I guess, yeah, I stuck out. And but it was so fun because they were just so kind and accepting. They wanted to know all about me. And I remember one time they had me cook dinner for them. I cooked a full Cuban meal for them. I had to explain everything of frijoles negros. I made picadillo. I made flan. I think I made arroz con pollo. And they thought it was awesome. Like it was really neat. And they were just so kind and accepting. And so I think that it was really a natural fit for this story to dedicate it to them because those themes are in the story of new people in a community and how we can learn from them and how we can embrace them. And that was something that I experienced, and that is, a huge theme in the story as well.
Were there any specific moments or bits of dialogue or anything that you can tell us that you feel comfortable telling us from real life that were put into the book?
Oh, so the book is set in rural Texas, and I can tell you that my father-in-law's voice is in my head throughout the whole book. That rural accent
Yeah.
is that is who was in my head in the whole book. And I gotta say, I adore my father-in-law. I love him so much. So writing this book, it was such a joy to write because in all honesty, having that person in my head as I wrote was it was a comfort. And I loved that because my father-in-law is hilarious. I love being with him. Whenever we go up to Oklahoma to spend time with them, my father-in-law and I hang out, I end up watching car shows with him that I do not understand. I watch football with him that I really don't care about because I'm a hockey fan, but I just spend time with him, and he's someone that I've learned a lot from because he has led a life that was very different from my own father's, and so he's someone that I've learned a lot from. And so having that person and that person's voice in my head as I wrote was something that I actually absolutely adored, especially since he has really stepped in as the father figure in my life, after I've lost my own dad. And so this book was just a joy to write. But in as you read the book and all of these rural characters, just the way they speak and in my opinion, just how funny they are, that is my father-in-law, and just their mannerisms and the things that they say. It was really a joy to put that on the page and just have that kind of come to life, just really the down to earth nature of rural folks. Yeah, it was really fun to do that, and especially since it really embodied my father-in-law.
Well, at what point in making What Fell from the Sky did you know you were going to dedicate it to your in-laws?
when I was brainstorming it, in all honesty, when I was brainstorming it, I knew that because it's based on a real event that happened in Texas history, that happened in Lampasas, Texas. I knew this was going to be a rural story. And once the themes of the story started to develop of the main character trying to find acceptance as a bicultural kid, that right away I knew, yes, I know who this is going to. There's only so many books I can dedicate to my husband and son, who really are my main support system. So no, I knew right away that I was going to dedicate this to my in-laws.
Have you been double dipping previously? Have you dedicated multiple books to your husband and son?
Nestor is dedicated to my son. Cube in My Pocket is dedicated to my dad for obvious reasons. Ghost of Rancho Espanto is actually dedicated to my sister and her husband because they inspired that story. Mari, I actually have totally forgotten who I dedicated Mari to. I
We
gotta
can edit
look.
that part out where you can say you've forgotten who you dedicated.
Oh, that one's dedicated to my husband. I was like, I know I've dedicated a book to my husband, or he would never let me live that down. Yeah,
Him.
exactly. And No Brainers actually has my favorite dedication because it's my funniest. It's dedicated to, I believe you might know this person. It's dedicated to Natalia Goldberg. It says, to Natalia Goldberg, who titled this book for me and kept you from reading Adrianna Cuevas book 6. She did come up with the title for this book because I absolutely could not. I was at a loss for the title of that book. But yes, in my acknowledgments, though, like my husband and son, it's always, I could dedicate every single book to them. I think I kind of want to know if like I'm the first person to dedicate a book to their in-laws. Like that, I don't know that is a common thing, maybe.
I mean, among our guests, I can't think of anyone. No, I did dedicate one of my books to Jenny's parents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you haven't done the same
Not
with
yet.
Oh,
Dad, so come on.
I know. Sorry, Nancy and Joe.